Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 124, written by Round Management 597. Siblings connected by fate. Their cord came back 5 years late. It was a typical school night back in high school. I'm the youngest sibling. I have 2 older brothers, and at that time, I lived with my whole family, mom and dad included. My grandparents are wealthy, so every once in a while, we would meet them for dinner at their country club 15 minutes from my house. With everyone being busy on a weekday, it was normal for us to take more than one car, whatever was the most convenient way for us to get there on time to meet for dinner. This time, specifically, I went with just my older brother to the country club in his 2006-2007 Toyota Camry that my grandparents bought for him when he got his license, which was super generous as my family couldn't afford to get him one. We are very thankful for them as they have helped us out a lot over the years. I can't remember exactly which year the car is, but that's not important. What is important though is that the car does not have Bluetooth. Therefore, it required an auxiliary cord to play music from our phones. Everything about this glitch is so vivid. We get to dinner and everything is normal. We were playing music on the way to dinner. We get back to the car after dinner. The sun had gone down. However, now the black auxiliary cord he'd been using the whole year was gone. I remember searching the car, moving the seat back and forth, asked him if he's sure he's locked the car, and he was. It also would be such a weird thing to take by itself. My brother actually being into this kind of glitch stuff like I am, we marked it down as a glitch at the time. Couldn't explain where it went, and it couldn't have gone missing. We moved on with our lives and thought, it's pretty cool and funny, but weird that it just went missing randomly, you know? Now audience, I know what you're thinking. There are a million stories of things just going missing unexplainably on here, but this is where it gets twisted. Fast forward probably 5 years to last year. 2019-2020, prior to the virus. I was a freshman in college. My fraternity had a parents' weekend and both my parents couldn't make it, so I flew out to see my brother that weekend in his new home in Texas. For reference, he moved from New York where we grew up after he graduated college for a job, and I'm in Arizona for college, so it was not far or anything. I remember wanting in and out, so we went to the parking garage in his new apartment complex where, funny enough, he keeps the exact same car he has had since he was a senior in high school, the blue 2007 Toyota Camry that my grandparents got him. We finally get to the car. I live in New York when I'm not at school, so it was cool to see it again. It had been a few years, and I cannot make this up. When we stepped foot in the car, the exact same black auxiliary cord from 5 years before that we lost together that one night was in his car. Now I know what you're all gonna think. Obviously, he just got a new one, and it just so happened to look the same. When we looked at each other to discuss, the first thing he did was accuse me of pranking him. I know my brother so well. He wouldn't keep this gig up. It's not worth it. That auxiliary cord reappeared 5 years later when we got into his car together and had both of us in shock. It felt like some weird game someone was playing with us. I can't express enough that it was not an Apple cord. It was the same black cord that I remember using on that night of dinner when it went missing. This story is so legitimately true, it's just unnerving to me because I can't properly convey that to other people. As the title says, this unfolded over the course of 5 years, and I'm so glad that I had my brother there to experience it with me. The reason I added this little part at the end is because when I read the stories on here, I like to confirm that they are true, otherwise they're worth nothing. Case notes, file number 124. So my thought is, was the cord plugged into the car or just strewn about on the dashboard? Without it reappearing, it's within the realm of possibility that it was just stolen those 5 years ago, although you do say your brother locked the car. And yeah, it would be such a weird thing to steal, just a headphone cord. But with it returning, especially in the exact same way it disappeared in, strikes me more as the out-of-phase phenomena, where people or objects can lose connectivity to reality. They phase out, although with the exception that they still appear to be bound by the gravity of the planet and its relative motion. Otherwise, they'd reappear in empty space, millions of miles from Earth. Usually they reappear after a few minutes or hours, though. But who's to say it can't last for years? Case file number 125, written by SNL 1819. Pizza and joy in the air, but now a duplicate, she will declare. So I work at a fast food place, one of the big named franchises. I was the closing manager tonight, on April 20th, 2021. It was just me and my closing driver. My driver was on a delivery and an order popped up on the screen. It was an order placed on the web, so I didn't talk to anyone. I put the 2 pizzas and the side in the oven and go to wait by the cutting station for the food to come out. While I'm waiting, a silver bar falls onto the ground back in the dishwashing area. The silver bars separate the Lexans in containers on our make line, like a buffer if you will. Anyways, it falls. Again, no one is in the store except for me, so it freaked me the hell out. It was very loud. I walk back in the general direction and turn the corner. There's the bar just sitting on the floor. I even took a video after it fell and sent it to my wife because I was tripping out. I didn't pick it up or touch it at all. I just walked back to the cutting station to box up the odor. You know, cleanliness and all. Well, the weird thing is, when I went back to the cut station, I boxed up the side and 1 thin crust pizza. At this point, my driver walks in the front door of the store, and I turn around to grab the original crust pizza. I cut it and tell him his delivery is up and ready to go. Then, I saw another pizza coming out of the oven. I only put in that 1 order, 2 pizzas and 1 side, but here is somehow a random 3rd pizza. And it was a duplicate of the thin crust pizza. I don't know why, but I initially thought that it was my driver that made it. He couldn't have, he just came back while I was boxing up this order. So I asked him. I don't know why, because I knew the answer, but I was again freaked out. So I asked if he made the pizza and he chuckled and said no, he just got back to the store. So I cut the pizza, then threw it away. I know, I'm weird. It's just a habit to cut a pizza when it comes out of the oven. But neither of us wanted to eat it since we didn't know how it appeared there. It tripped me out. He left for his delivery and I was on edge for the rest of the night. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was a crossover universe when the silver bar fell, and it triggered something. I have no clue. All I know is I've been at this pizza company for 10 years, this store in particular for 3, and this has never happened before. Case notes, file number 125. Okay, so very important. I'm reading the comments here, and I see that the duplicate mystery pizza had pineapple on it. Well, that settles it. It was demons responsible for this. The only possible explanation. Joking aside, that is a mind warp indeed. It's not like this could be a pizza you forgot from hours ago that have been burnt to cinders and charcoal. You say that this thin crust was the same configuration as the order's thin crust, the same ingredients, so a proper duplicate. Obviously, there's no way you just accidentally made 2 pizzas. Even with years of experience, making a pizza is still an involved enough process. I know, I've tried. Disappearing and reappearing objects, that's common. But materializing entirely new matter from nowhere, that's a different ballgame entirely. The only conceivable explanation is that you blacked out and made a second pizza without realizing it. Like your memory was wiped out for those few minutes. Perhaps this was somehow triggered by the silver bar falling down. I know hypnotists use audio cues to wake people up. Then the bar falling would be you waking up, not being put under. Now, why someone would have hypnotized you to make a pizza that they didn't collect, I really don't know. Anywho, total speculation, but that's the fun part. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and you may as well start a binge session now. I have so many more stories on my channel.